Danny Masterson, known for his role on That 70s Show, faces new legal challenges. Convicted in May on 2 counts of rape, Masterson's legal team is now under scrutiny. Allegations of improper contact with jurors have surfaced, raising serious concerns about witness tampering and obstruction of justice. These accusations add another layer to an already complex and high-profile case. The allegations center around claims that Masterson's attorneys, led by Sean Hawley, contacted jurors after the trial, despite a court order prohibiting such communication. These actions have drawn the ire of prosecutors and raised questions about the defense team's conduct. The situation has the potential to significantly impact Masterson's sentencing and could lead to further legal ramifications for his attorneys. Multiple jurors have come forward alleging that they were contacted by members of Masterson's legal team after the trial concluded. These approaches reportedly occurred at their homes, workplaces, and even through social media. Jurors described the contact as unwelcome and intimidating, expressing concerns about their privacy and safety. One juror, speaking on condition of anonymity, revealed that she received a phone call from an individual who identified themselves as being associated with Masterson's defense. The individual allegedly inquired about her experience during the trial and attempted to gauge her sentiments towards the defendant. This account, along with others, paints a picture of a concerted effort to potentially influence or intimidate jurors after the verdict. Sean Hawley, Masterson's lead attorney, has acknowledged that she contacted 3 jurors after the trial. However, she maintains that these interactions were entirely appropriate and consensual. Hawley claims that she obtained the jurors' contact information through publicly available means, and that the conversations focused on clarifying aspects of the trial. Hawley insists that the jurors were receptive to her outreach, and that she did not engage in any form of harassment or intimidation. She maintains that her actions were motivated by a desire to understand the jurors' perspectives and potentially gather information for a future appeal. However, prosecutors argue that any contact with jurors outside of court-approved channels is highly irregular and potentially illegal. The allegations against Masterson's legal team strike at the heart of juror privacy, a fundamental pillar of the American justice system. Jurors must be free from fear of harassment or intimidation to ensure they can deliberate fairly and impartially. When their privacy is compromised, it undermines public trust in the judicial process. Jurors are often privy to sensitive information and must make weighty decisions that can have life-altering consequences. Protecting their identities and ensuring their safety are crucial to maintaining the integrity of jury trials. Any attempt to influence or harass jurors after a verdict can have a chilling effect on their willingness to serve and erode confidence in the fairness of the legal system. Section 5. Legal and Ethical Boundaries Navigating the Aftermath. In the wake of a high-profile trial, the legal landscape can become a complex web of ethical dilemmas and procedural intricacies. This is especially true in the case of Masterson, where the actions of his legal team have come under intense scrutiny. The actions of Masterson's legal team have raised serious legal and ethical questions. Their conduct during and after the trial has sparked a debate about the boundaries of legal advocacy and the responsibilities of attorneys to uphold the law. Contacting jurors after a trial is generally prohibited, except under very specific circumstances and with court authorization. This rule is in place to protect the integrity of the judicial process and to ensure that jurors can perform their duties without fear of retribution or undue influence. Attorneys are bound by strict rules of professional conduct designed to uphold the integrity of the legal profession. These rules are not just guidelines but are enforceable standards that can lead to serious consequences if violated. The prosecution has formally requested a hearing to investigate the allegations of juror contact. This hearing will delve into the specifics of the alleged misconduct and determine whether the actions of Masterson's legal team crossed the line. Judge Olmedo, who presided over Masterson's trial, will ultimately decide whether to pursue sanctions against the defense team. Her decision will be based on the evidence presented and the severity of the alleged violations. Potential consequences could range from reprimands to fines or even disbarment. The severity of the punishment will depend on the nature of the misconduct and its impact on the judicial process. The outcome of this hearing will have significant implications for the attorneys involved and could set important precedents for future cases. It will serve as a reminder of the critical importance of ethical conduct in the legal profession and the potential repercussions of failing to adhere to these standards. As the legal community watches closely, the decisions made in this case will likely influence how similar situations are handled in the future, reinforcing the delicate balance between zealous advocacy and ethical responsibility. Section 6. Public perception. Trust eroded? The allegations of Juror Contact have further fueled public scrutiny of Masterson's case. Many view these actions as a desperate attempt to undermine the jury's verdict and shield a powerful individual from accountability. This perception contributes to a growing sense of skepticism towards the legal system, particularly when it comes to cases involving high-profile figures. The situation also raises broader concerns about the potential for wealthy defendants to manipulate the legal system to their advantage. Critics argue that Masterson's defense team may be attempting to exploit loopholes and technicalities to overturn or mitigate his conviction. This perception of unequal justice erodes public trust and reinforces the need for transparency and accountability within the legal system. Section 7 #Me Too's shadow, a broader context. The allegations against Masterson's legal team unfold against the backdrop of the #Me Too movement and a heightened awareness of sexual assault and misconduct. This movement, which began as a way to give voice to survivors of sexual violence, has grown into a global phenomenon, shedding light on the pervasive nature of these issues across various sectors of society. From Hollywood to corporate boardrooms, the #Me Too movement has empowered countless individuals to come forward with their stories, demanding accountability and change. Masterson's conviction itself was seen as a victory for survivors, holding a high-profile figure accountable for his actions. This case became a symbol of hope and justice for many, illustrating that no one is above the law, regardless of their status or influence. The courtroom scenes filled with tension and anticipation were a stark reminder of the long and arduous journey that survivors often face in their quest for justice. However, the recent allegations threaten to overshadow this progress and raise concerns about a potential backlash against survivors. The fear is that these new developments could undermine the hard-won gains of the #Me Too movement, casting doubt on the credibility of survivors and discouraging others from coming forward. This potential backlash is a sobering reminder of the fragility of progress and the constant vigilance required to maintain it. The situation underscores the challenges faced by survivors of sexual assault who come forward to seek justice. The legal system, often seen as a beacon of hope, can also be a source of immense stress and re-traumatization for survivors. The courage it takes to stand up and speak out against powerful individuals cannot be overstated, and the emotional toll is significant. It highlights the power imbalances that often exist in such cases, and the lengths to which some individuals may go to evade accountability. These power dynamics are not just limited to the courtroom but permeate every aspect of society, from workplaces to social circles. The struggle for justice is not just a legal battle but a societal one, requiring collective effort and unwavering support for survivors. The outcome of this situation will undoubtedly have implications for the broader conversation about sexual assault, power dynamics, and the pursuit of justice. It will serve as a litmus test for the progress made by the #Me Too movement and the resilience of the societal changes it has inspired. The world watches closely, as the resolution of this case will either reinforce the strides made towards justice or highlight the ongoing challenges that still need to be addressed. Section 8. The road ahead, potential consequences and hearings. The allegations of Juror Contact are now the subject of an ongoing investigation. This investigation is crucial as it aims to uncover the truth behind these serious accusations. The integrity of the judicial process is at stake, and any form of misconduct could have far-reaching implications. The investigation team is meticulously examining every piece of evidence, from phone records to witness statements, to ensure that no stone is left unturned. Judge Olmedo will hold a hearing to determine the extent of the contact and whether any ethical or legal violations occurred. This hearing is a pivotal moment in the case, as it will set the tone for the proceedings moving forward. The judge's role is to impartially assess the evidence presented and make a determination based on the facts. Prosecutors are expected to present evidence, including witness testimony and phone records, to support their claims. They will likely argue that the contact was not only inappropriate but also intended to sway the jurors' opinions. The evidence presented by the prosecution will be scrutinized for its credibility and relevance to the case. Masterson's legal team will have the opportunity to defend their actions and present their side of the story. They will argue that any contact with jurors was incidental and not intended to influence the outcome of the trial. The defense will also present their own evidence and call witnesses to testify on their behalf. The outcome of this hearing will likely hinge on whether the judge believes that the defense's contact with jurors was intended to influence or intimidate them. The judge will consider the context and nature of the contact, as well as the credibility of the witnesses. This decision will have significant implications for the case and could affect the overall perception of the judicial process. Depending on the findings, the judge could impose a range of sanctions from reprimands to more severe penalties, such as disbarment. The severity of the sanctions will depend on the judge's assessment of the intent and impact of the contact. This hearing is a critical juncture in the case, and its outcome will shape the future of the proceedings and the careers of those involved. Section 9. Conclusion: upholding the integrity of the justice system. The allegations against Danny Masterson's legal team represent a serious challenge to the integrity of the justice system. Regardless of the outcome of the upcoming hearing, this situation underscores the importance of safeguarding juror privacy and upholding ethical standards in legal proceedings. Public trust in the judicial process depends on the perception that everyone, regardless of their wealth or status, is subject to the same rules and standards. The handling of this case will send a powerful message about the commitment to fairness, transparency, and accountability within the American legal system.